In 2018, 52% of all traffic worldwide came from mobile devices, and that number is constantly on the rise. Now that we're well into 2019, ask yourself one question. Can you really afford to lose 52% of all the website traffic coming to your site? Today, what I'm going to do is share with you 3 key reasons why your website needs to be optimized for mobile browsing at all times, and also how to enable your website to be a great resource on mobile as well as desktop. Hi, my name's Denis, and what I'll be doing today is sharing with you 3 key reasons why your website absolutely needs to be mobile optimized in 2019. What I want you to do is quickly down on the bottom leave a comment below and tell me what source do you get most traffic from to your website. Is it mobile or is it desktop? If you don't know, feel free to leave a wild guess, but if you actually check the stats, let me know because I'm actually curious. Right, so let's get straight into the top 3 key reasons. The first tip, social media is the optimal source for all your website traffic. Facebook users on mobile amount to as much as 80% of all website traffic, whereas only 20% browse on desktop. That means that whatever traffic is going to your website directly from Facebook, 80% of them are going to be on a mobile browser. And guess what happens if your website's too slow, the elements are too small, or it's simply unusable on a small mobile screen? They will leave and never return. There are a few simple steps you can take right now to ensure that your website meets all of the standards for optimized mobile browsing. First of all, to check your page score, what you can do is go to a website called Page Insights by Google, and it'll analyze your website within seconds and show you exactly what is wrong. This handy little tool is developed by Google themselves, so all the data is accurate and they'll pinpoint exactly what you need to do to improve in certain areas in order for your website to be better on mobile. Another thing you should consider is speed. Speed is one of the most important and defining factors of whether someone will stay on your website or leave. Again, to make sure that your website loads as fast as it can, there are several things you can do to ensure that that happens. First of all, compress all of your images. Loading a beautiful high-res 4K image on a 3G or a 4G mobile network is going to be a hell of a task, and that alone can slow down your website considerably. Good news is, if you're using WordPress, download a tool called Smush and compress all of your images automatically. TinyPNG is another plugin that you can download, and it does pretty much the exact same thing. The last thing you should do is consider using AMP, which is Accelerated Mobile Pages. Again, it's a tool developed by Google to ensure that websites load almost instantly. What it does is essentially strips all of the styling from posts and articles so that the user focuses on the article itself and the content on the page as opposed to any animations or any extra design parts. This is especially useful if you're driving traffic to your website mainly for article and blogs. Again, if you're using WordPress, go to the plugin store, download the AMP plugin and set up all of your posts and articles to be AMP enabled. Using those exact 3 tips will enable you to make the most of that 52% extra traffic going to your website. And I can promise you it will significantly increase the amount of time people actually stay on your website for. The second key reason is e-commerce purchases. If you're running an online store, mobile browsing is the key for you these days. 35% of all mobile users make purchases online at least once a week, compared to 50% of desktop users. Mobile users are also 2 times more likely to make a purchase on the mobile than they are on the desktop, which means again, you can't afford to be missing out on that traffic if you're running an online store and selling things through your website online. Personally, one of the biggest pet peeves of mine is when I go to an online store try to purchase something and they have no quick checkout method. If there's no way to pay via PayPal or Apple Pay, the likelihood of me quitting and never returning has just gone through the roof. What if my credit card's in the other room and I can't get to it? What if my wallet's in my car and I'm in the office? Unless your item is so unique that I won't find a competitor online elsewhere that has a quick checkout process, the chances are I will quit and you'll never see me again. We live in a rushed and impatient time, so the quicker you can get people through that checkout process, the more chance you have of actually getting the sale. So don't waste the opportunity for extra business because of these tiny little details. If this has got you thinking about your online checkout process on mobile, you can actually rectify this fairly easily. All of the most common and popular online store platforms like Ecommerce for WordPress or Shopify all support Apple Pay and PayPal integrations. There is literally no reason you shouldn't be using those. Simply go over to your plugin store and install both of those extensions. Setting up a business PayPal and connecting it to your online store is fairly straightforward, and with Apple Pay it's even easier. The final and arguably one of the most important reasons your website needs to be optimized for mobile browsing is Google. Many things are factored in to decide where your website will be positioned in Google search results, and mobile responsiveness is definitely one of them. Google have confirmed a couple of years ago that they will be punishing websites that are not optimized for mobile browsing, and that is definitely something you want to avoid. The simple reason that your user interface might not be adapted to mobile phones could be the reason between your website ranking on page 1 or page 3. This is completely understandable, as Google want to keep up the good standards, so whatever they show the users, they want to be of high quality, and if your website doesn't fit that bracket, then they're going to do everything in their power to show it further down the pile. Again, it's not the end of the world, there are simple steps you can take to rectify this. I've mentioned a few of them before, but let's run through them again. First of all, go to Google Page Insights and put your website URL in, and they'll tell you exactly what is wrong. As I mentioned before, download Smash and Tiny PNG to compress all of your images. If you can, avoid using pop-ups on mobile, but if you do, make sure the exit button is very big and clear. The previously mentioned AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages, is also a big factor for Google rankings, especially if you rely on people reading your blogs and articles. Optimizing your blog posts to be AMP enabled will actually shoot them up in the Google search results organically. And also, don't forget to submit your mobile sitemap to the Google Search Console. That's it from me on this topic, but you should check out some of our other valuable digital marketing tips and tricks over on the knowledge base area of our website. Also, to be the first to hear about the next videos, make sure you subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment below or drop me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.